Welcome to the second episode of our series Defined Benefits in Focus. In episode 1, we looked at a defined benefit pension structure and the benefits it could provide for you in the future. In this episode, we aim to highlight the typical thought process and questions you may have when considering a potential transfer of a defined benefit pension. Chris, if I was making contact for the first time and looking for advice with regard to my defined benefit pension, what is our initial stance on this?
Well, because defined benefit schemes provide such strong guaranteed income, the initial stance should always be that you should retain them benefits. I was saying when we were putting this together how I wish that I had defined benefit scheme benefits. So they are vastly important to the vast majority of people. They will provide a security of income for the rest of their lives, and therefore, for the vast majority of people, they should be retained.
Boolers have helped clients who've wanted to transfer in the past. Can you shed some light on why this is?
It's very true, although as per Chris's comment, our starting point is that it's in your best interest to retain, to hang on to those final salary benefits. For some people, actually transferring is suitable. That might be because they have got lots of non-pension assets, so benefits outside of their pension scheme that will provide them with an income in retirement, and so they don't need the pension income, which is obviously a very nice position to be in. Or there might be some other reason, which is either personal, financial or health, that actually causes us to reconsider the benefits payable to them, and it might be that the advice is that benefits could be paid in a different way that's more appropriate or more suitable for them. It's the thing to recall, it's such a personal decision, and each piece of advice is very personal to you as a client. So we have to gather so much information about each individual in order to provide that advice. But for some people, yes, it will be suitable.
If I request a transfer value, how long is it valid for?
The transfer value is normally valid for 3 months. However, you need to bear in mind, but by the time you're talking to us about it, a month might have already passed or even longer. So you need to have a realistic timescale in regards to accepting a transfer value anyway. You can ask for additional transfer values in any year. Normally the scheme would make an additional charge for this, and we've seen them charges range by quite some margins. The other thing to remember is that you have a statutory right to transfer. However, that is removed a year before your normal retirement date. So after that point, you may not be offered a transfer value at all. So it is important, depending on the timing of it, to fully understand whether a transfer value is actually available or not.
Thank you. With regard to my defined pension, can I take some money out of it?
Not like it's a savings plan, no, sadly. Although it is a pension and it is your entitlement to that pension, it's not like a bank account. It's not that you can just go and get cash as and when you feel like it. When your benefits sit within that defined benefit scheme, the only point you can access those benefits is when you're at retirement or in anticipation of retirement. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have stopped work. If you have left a company and you have retained or older guaranteed defined benefit pensions with that previous company, it may well be that you're still working elsewhere, but you want to access those previous defined benefits that have been built up. And so when you get to retirement, the scheme will tell you what your retirement benefits are, which will have been revalued from date of leaving through to the present day when you're looking to take the benefits. They will normally say to you, you can take a pension of X £1,000 each year for the rest of your life, or you can choose to commute or give up part of that pension for a lump sum. And if you take a lump sum option, then your pension that you'll be receiving reduces to take into account the fact you've got a lump sum as well as that pension. So there are your options really, but unless you're taking pension or a lump sum plus pension, you can't get money out of your final salary scheme pension. The other thing to say, I suppose, is that some people might have what's called an AVC, or additional voluntary contributions, which is a separate savings plan often that runs alongside your defined benefits plan. So you have your main final salary benefits and then this extra pot of money. And that pot of money sometimes can be taken separately from the main scheme. So there might be an option where you can access some benefits without accessing the main scheme benefits, but they're often quite limited.
Thank you. If I'm currently in a scheme and still building up benefits, is now a good time to transfer?
Not unless you're looking to retire, is the answer. As we said right from the beginning, the benefits given for a defined benefit scheme are so significant that and so worthwhile that you should be taking advantage of the accrual and the additional years inside that pension. If you are considering retirement, then it becomes a more personalised piece of advice, obviously, and it would be down to the individual circumstances as to whether it's the right choice or otherwise. So largely, if you're in a defined benefit scheme, you should try and stay in the defined benefit scheme. It can also sometimes impact on your death in service, the death cover that you have available to you via your employer. If you come out of your defined benefit scheme, often it also means that you come out of the death in service scheme too. So they're important considerations to have. And even if you've got a potential annual allowance or lifetime allowance issue, it still may not be in your interest to come out of your defined benefit scheme. So personalised advice would be needed.
Thank you, Chris and Carol. That brings us to the end of our second episode in our Defined Benefits in Focus series. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 3.